Khalid, I had a small question and I was waiting for this for today to ask you if possible. Is there a way you can tell us how to make istikhara, or it's too much for you?
Can we save it for? Because I think we.
Just how to make
Are you? Do you need to do istikhara?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you. Since I'll tell you after Maghrib. Just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, people need to know that. Yeah.
Okay, Salat Istikhara. I mean, Istikhara is in the. Remember, don't
Is this still
approach.
recording? Is this still recording?
Don't approach God with a sense of obligation, because they like anything else. If you ask a person for a favor, you say please, and if you approach the person asking for a favor with a sense of entitlement, it's rude.
Yes.
And you know, we are often rude with God, and so that's a really important point, because I know so many people that approach istikhara with a sort of, you know, why didn't God answer me? So, but that's the most critical and important thing about istikhara is to husn al-zann billah, that you truly believe that Allah is with you, and Allah is ever present with you, and that Allah is Rahman and Rahim, and that to husn al-adab ma'allah, to good manners with Allah, meaning that you don't ask about, you think carefully about what you're going to ask about, and that they are not trivial things, you know. So I personally, and as and not just but doing your homework before you ask. So you exert your best effort to do what needs to be done. So, for instance, the best example I ever heard of this is do istikhara about marriage. Don't do istikhara before you've done your homework asking about a possible groom, or in other words, find, you know. So, Sheikh Muhammad al-Ghazali rahmahullah once told us, you know, don't do istikhara if you haven't found out if someone has a criminal record. It's true. I mean, you don't know if someone even has a criminal record, then you're asking God. So do your homework first, and then you pray. You do wudu with as much focus as you can. So because the process of istikhara starts from husn al-wudu, and from wudu to prayer, you don't talk to anyone, you don't listen to anything, you don't watch anything. So in other words, don't distract yourself, be in a state of as much focus and concentration as you can. Then you pray 2 rak'ahs, and then after the 2 rak'ahs you sit and you ask God what you want.
After Maghrib, when?
It really does not matter, although some have said it's best after Isha, and some have said it's best after Fajr, but I'll tell you the evidence for that is weak, that you can do it any time, and the best time is the time that you can be not distracted. Now, some have said that you do it right before you sleep, because quite often the answer comes in the form of a dream. I don't do it before I sleep. Now, often, then the answer will often come in what your heart. You find that your heart opens up to one choice or another, and you become far more comfortable with it. But depending on your relationship with Allah, the answer could come in far more precise and clear ways. So.
What if it doesn't come?
Then if you don't feel like you get an answer one way or the other, then repeat it. And you could, most people say you can repeat it as many as you want. Um, my own view, and Allahu Alam, I don't repeat an istikhara prayer more than 3 times before I stop and accept that what it's likely best to refrain. So I've had a lot of invitations where I will pray whether I should accept an invitation or not, and then Grace will say, "Have you prayed on it?" And then I'll pray on it again. And then Grace will say, "Have you prayed on it?" And then I'll pray on it again. And then by the 3rd time, if I don't get a response, I just drop it. A lot of times, the response I get is very, very clear and unequivocal. That's there are a lot of people that will tell you have to recite this and you have to recite that and you have to recite this dua and so on. All of that is ma'thurat. All of that is what has been reported. So in Kitab al-Ma'thurat, which is available in a lot of bookstores and so on, there is a dua called dua al-Istikhara, but I prefer that you do your own dua because it comes from your own heart rather than just reading a formalized dua. And if not everyone should do an istikhara, people who have a weak relationship with Allah should work on improving their relationship with Allah before doing istikhara.
Is it done when you're requesting something that you desire, or when you're sort of stuck between 2 choices, or both?
That's actually, that's a good question. It's done both. You can, there's istikhara where you are asking for advice, and this is where, and there's istikhara where you ask God to bless your choice. And some have said that the bless your choice, direct you towards the best course, should not technically be called istikhara, because you are not asking for a takhyir on the matter. But nevertheless, I have to tell you, it has become my practice. The second one, when you pray that Allah blesses whatever you do, that becomes like a habit. Like when you get into it, you can't imagine doing anything without praying and asking Allah to bless it. But I've took the question to mean that the asking for advice or direction on a matter rather than a blessing on a matter.
Isn't it better to ask for whatever is best as opposed to what you want to be blessed, because maybe it's not what's best for you?
Well, I mean, if you ask Allah to present you as whatever is best, and again, some have said that that's technically not istikhara because you're not asking God to help you choose, but rather you're saying, God, choose for me and direct me towards, and that's more like asking for. And my mother, may Allah bless her soul, would always say, her preferred prayer, as you know, was to ask Allah to present whatever is best, and she would never pray for anything beyond that. Although there is a hadith that says, don't just ask Allah for whatever is best, ask Allah for what you want. But I don't want to get into the whole debate about how authentic this hadith is. But my mother never accepted it. May Allah bless her soul. Allah Alam. But that's maybe a separate matter.
Can you do
Alhamdulillah.
as many istikhara? Not as many, but for different subjects. Like, can you do this?
I do them on things.
Kiraran or tibraran?
No, I do it on things that I think are
Very
very important.
specific.
Yeah, I try to do my homework and not to be. I mean, it's just that I don't know. It's like you develop a certain form of adab with Allah.
Humility.
And there's something like manners, and I'm not saying that my adab is correct, but my adab is what I have grown comfortable with, and the one that I really understand. And and so I, you know, before, you know, I did Istikhara for him whether to start the halaqas again a long time ago, because I wasn't sure, and I know that emotionally I'd rather be with my books and hide away in some corner and not interact with people. That's my nature. So I asked God, well, you know, do you want me to hide somewhere and not interact with? Do you want me to? But once I got the answer, the thing that I do a lot of, alhamdulillah, is to ask Allah to bless what I do and yeah, I can't imagine for a Muslim to imagine anything in life that you do alone is very lonely. If you don't, if you do it with Allah, then your life is full. If you do it alone, it's very lonely. It's remarkably lonely.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay,
Thank
close.
you, yes. Officially closed. Until next time.
Alhamdulillah.